Okay, guys, please take a seat. We're gonna be starting now. Yeah, we do have a networking time after the event, so please take a seat. Yeah, can you guys help getting people standing seated? Okay, I think it's getting settled. So let me start. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Japan Payment Innovation Meetup 2025. So today's event is hosted by 4 of Japan's leading credit card companies, JCB, Mitsubishi UFJ NICOS, Orico, and Sumitomo Mitsui Card. Actually, we're starting, so yeah, it will be nice if you guys could take a seat. Okay, so now, as you might know, they're usually competitors in Japan. So why are they doing this together? So my guess, it's probably because of the big tech. Apple Wallet, Google Pay. They're always trying to dominate or even overtake the market. So here in the US, these 4 companies decided to team up. So who am I? My name is Kengo from Digital Garage US, one of the Japan's major payment service providers. Why am I here? Because we're the company that works with all 4 of today's hosts. Secret is we hold all 4 of the cards. And here in the US, Digital Garage also happens to be the landlord of this building. We've been working to make this place a gateway that connects startups between Japan and the US. I moved to San Francisco just last year, and I've seen how quickly travel between our 2 countries is growing. Tourism is booming, and with that, cashless adoption is accelerating. The credit card market is expanding fast, and for anyone thinking about Japan as an opportunity, connecting with today's 4 hosts might just be the fastest track. As for today's agenda, first, we'll hear a keynote from Brent Wu. Brent is a partner at Geodesic Capital, where he leads investor relations and drives limited partner value add initiatives. Before joining Geodesic, he built his career across both startups and finance. At Cardpool, he built and scaled the business development and account management team, helping grow a business that was acquired by Blackhawk Network at the time of the largest global gift card and prepaid debit solution distributor, representing over 1,000 brands across more than 300,000 retail locations in the $200 billion market. After that, each of the 4 companies will give a short presentation on their initiatives. Then we'll move into networking over sushi and sake, wine. Exciting. You'll also find the 4 companies at their booths in the back, so please take the opportunity to connect. One small task during the keynote and presentation, please stay focused. We'll have plenty of time to chat and mingle afterwards. And with that, Brent, the stage is yours.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Everyone good? Thank you. Flip over the presentation. Perfect. Thank you. So by way of introduction, my name is Brent Wu. Thank you for that kind introduction. I'm really excited to be here. I feel that this meetup is truly at the intersection of my previous career in payments and fintech, and where I spend a majority of my time now, which is Japan market entry. And appreciate all of you being here as well. I think being part of this community to foster collaboration and communication against the opportunities and the disruption that is prime for the Japanese market is key. And having the mega banks, the powerhouses, the financial institutions, the payment providers here, it's a very unique situation for us all. So it's great to have everyone here. Now, my goal here today isn't to sell you on Japan market entry. Yes, it's what I do for my job, but at the same time, I want to provide a very realistic view of what Japan market entry could look like for you And if your companies, your technologies, you yourselves, whether you're VC, whether you are a systems integrator, whether you're a founder, if it is right for you, I really encourage the conversations today with our host companies. And again, thank you to our hosts today. So I'm going to kick it off and share a little bit more about Geodesic. I think that provides a framework and foundation for what we'll be discussing today. And then I'll hop into some of the stats that make me excited about the innovation that's happening in the payment system within Japan. And then I'll impart you with just some reflections I've had working at Geo for 7 or 8 years, working with founders, working with people who are probably in your seat saying, is Japan right? I don't know. Seems pretty hard. But the tagline really is simple, and it's that Japan has its unique set of challenges, but the size of the prize certainly outweighs these risks if you can do it right. So let me just start really quickly with Geodesic and then who we are and what we do. We're a venture capital firm. We invest in expansion stage startups, and we help them win Japan. We do that through 3 separate ways. First, we invest for financial returns, full stop. Second, through our Geodesic Japan team, we help them build, launch, and scale within the Japanese market. And third, where I spend a majority of my time, is working with our limited partners, some of them here today, and acting as a trusted advisor to connect them to the latest technologies, companies, speakers, thought leaders here in the Valley, and by Valley I mean US, and to help them execute on their strategic goals. So we've created a pretty unique flywheel where we're able to access some of the best companies in the Valley because of our unique Japan value add. Well, we're able to introduce these companies to our LPs first and foremost, and so therefore we're able to provide this very financial driven, strategic driven approach and partnership, and it's worked really well for us. So what I wanted to do today is share with you 2 slides that we always share with every founder we talk to, whether we're pitching to get access to a deal or whether they come to us and say, hey, we're interested in Japan. And the first question is, they ask us, why Japan? And it's actually a quite simple answer is, if you want to be globally dominant, you have to win Asia. If you have to win Asia, you have to win Japan. I don't think there's any uncertainty in that statement. And what we like to share with them are a couple key stats, starting with massive economy. Japan is historically the 3rd largest economy in the world. It's fluctuated a bit just because of the yen depreciation, but it's always going to be in the top 5. And probably more importantly, it's a large enterprise market. What I mean by enterprise is B2B. And so, that includes payment solutions. And we saw a huge acceleration of this spending during COVID. And I'll get to a story about COVID shortly. But given cultural differences, aging society, and less favorable view of immigration, there's truly a limited talent pool. And so they need technology to supplement some of these advancements that they're aiming to do in the future. Geographically speaking, it's a beachhead for Asia, but more than just geographically, if you can do Japan right, the rest of Asia is actually, I don't want to say easy, but it's easier, just because Japan has very high quality standards for product. And a lot of those times they gather learnings from Japan and adopt them here in US and other Asian markets. And so Korea or even Singapore become a tad bit easier as you expand. And then last and not least, sticky partners, loyal customers. It's really a great market if you do it right. So it all sounds wonderful, and I would love to stop here and just say, hey, come to Japan, but there's a very big but. And that but, promising you the realistic view, is Japan's a very difficult market. So let me just start off with hiring. Hiring is very, very hard. Finding someone who can speak Japanese and English, but more importantly, can understand the cultural ways of doing business, that talent pool is very limited. And building on that is, even if you do find someone that understands it, your sales cycle is not going to be ARR, annual contracts, like it is here in the Valley. It's going to be, and most of you, if you've worked with Japan, start with a POC, and that's kind of like, I hate that word sometimes, but it starts with POC, and it can be very drawn out and very long, and you get mixed signals of what you're doing. Is it working? Is it not? Are you going to buy? All of our founders kind of go through that thinking when they're working with Japanese corporations. And maybe just touching on product a bit, it's not simply just saying, hey, let's translate this into Japanese from English. Typically, you're going to need a lot of UI changes, and that requires infrastructure, technology infrastructure, and changes, as well as just given regulatory compliance, like PII is treated differently there. It requires on-prem or maybe cloud, So some of the things we're used to, we can't just simply just translate over into Japanese business culture. So, those are the negatives, I would say, but let me highlight these 2 points here. And for those of you sitting here today, these two are really, really important in that it's a partner-driven approach and it takes time. It takes trust and time. So by being here today and starting that conversation, you've kind of dipped your toe into this. And again, it's not to say you should go to Japan, but if you do want to go to Japan, this is a great forum to have some of those discussions. And maybe just backing up one sec, Japan is also very important because we've seen a lot of instability in the world right now. And for a country to be educated, industrialized, respect the rule of law, and more importantly, is a U.S. geopolitical ally, you can't say that for every foreign country out there today. And so it's de-risked Japan a little bit as well. Second largest buyer of enterprise SaaS, number one if you exclude China. So Japan is a very, very attractive market in Asia. So let me hop into some examples. Again, this is not meant to be exhaustive, but these are just some examples, and I want to get to that COVID story I was talking about. So we have all of our LPs are Japanese corporates, the large mega banks, Mitsubishi, Hitachi. I remember getting a call in late 2021, COVID was happening, work from home was mandated, and I get a call and it said, hey, our employees in Tokyo, 1,000+ employees in Tokyo can't access mission critical applications because they're not in our four walls. They're working from home. And it's a pretty easy answer. It's like, just get a secure VPN. That's what we're doing here in the States. And they said, oh, okay. And so COVID was just a massive wake-up call. And when I say massive, the DX spending has been tremendous. They're playing catch-up, and I think that's exactly where we are with the payment ecosystem. They're looking at Europe, they're looking at the US, saying, what's working? And it's almost like having a crystal ball, because Japan, if you look at that stat up there, 13% about cashless payments 15 years ago. That's grown to 40%. And because of corporate intervention and government intervention, that will grow to 80. And I say that very confidently because it's on the METI's website that we are going to go to 80%. So think about having that insight. You know exactly where the Japan payment market system is going. And so I think about this is, okay, if we know it's going to grow 10% a year, we know QR is going to grow quickly, what are some of the solutions that have worked really well for the US or Europe or other nations? And how do we capitalize on that? How do we monopolize on that? How do we partner? And then the second piece of this is their entire payment structure is being updated as we speak. And I always reflect back to my time at Blackhawk. Gift cards, not the sexiest thing in the world. It's a $260 billion market in the US alone. And that's because we have closed loop systems here in the US. So think about that for a second. If you're able to know that Japan is going to move towards this, and you know that one service here in the US is worth $260 billion, that's an opportunity in itself. And so building off these, and again, not meant to be exhaustive, just trying to show some examples, I think of this market as white space versus leapfrog. White space, I think about the picks and shovels. Some of the things that are not sexy, but are needed in order to really facilitate and put fuel to the fire for growth. So we know SME, small, medium businesses, whether that's your print shop down the street, whether that's a restaurant, we know they are moving towards cashless, right? And that unlocks loyalty, that unlocks fraud prevention, that unlocks discounts, that unlocks gift cards. It unlocks so much just because they're doing one simple thing. And so that's what I really encourage you today, is you're thinking about this, is what does your product do and where does it fit within this single change or the other massive changes that are happening? Embedded payments are another interesting thing. 1 in 30, there's one vending machine for every 30 people in Tokyo, I believe. And so they're starting to use those for embedded payments, subscriptions. I mean, it's really miraculous how they're leveraging their current infrastructure. Now, as I think about leapfrog, I think about unburden. And what I mean by unburden, I always go back to the analogy that .com, pre.com, the US built out entire landline systems. There was wooden poles and wires connecting every house on the neighborhood across the US. A lot of countries were able to catch up overnight because they just skipped the landlines and went right to cellular, right? So Japan is at that place right now where they've seen our ACH networks. They know it works. The US is married to that. That is how business works here, and it will continue to work that way because we're gonna get off of it slowly. Japan has this opportunity to just skip a lot of the current infrastructure that has burdened the US and Europe and move to a digital currency, for example. The reason I put a digital yen here is because, again, if you go to METI, if you go to their website, it is front and center that they're looking at blockchain, they're looking at crypto, They're looking at new ways to help empower businesses. So, again, I wanted to just share this with you because there's so many different companies here, different founders here, different goals here, but there's an opportunity for everyone. You don't need to be a visionary Silicon Valley. I have to build the next generation of the next generation. Even the small incremental changes that have worked well for the US are brand new for the Japanese market. Maybe not brand new, but will be innovative enough to justify your TAM and market entry. So let me share with you a couple anecdotes, working with founders. And when I introduce some of my limited partners to them, they'll typically hesitate to take the first meeting and say, I'm not ready for Japan. I'm not ready for Japan market entry. And that's okay. Not everyone is, and not everyone should be. But I ask why, and they say, it's just working with the Japanese corporation. I can't invest on boots on the ground right now. And I always use the analogy, when's the last time you bought a Dole banana? They're like, I don't know, like a couple weeks ago. That Dole banana was purchased from a Japanese company owned by Itochu. And better yet, actually, if you went to 7-Eleven to buy that banana, that's owned by a Japanese company as well. And so we sometimes forget from a US perspective that just given Japan's history as an island nation with limited resources, they've built a global scale and they've reached out and made significant investments. And so just highlighting two of my LPs here that are here in the audience and you'll hear from, a lot of people don't know this. MUFG has a 20% stake in Morgan Stanley, right? I mean, that statement alone is pretty serious. But probably more importantly, they're aligned at the board level. So what does that mean? It means the same things Morgan Stanley is worried about, MUFG is worried about, right? And so they're working on a bunch of strategic relationships with partners. So if you're talking to Morgan Stanley, or you want to be talking to Morgan Stanley, you should be talking to MUFG as well. They used to own Union Bank, which for those of you here in San Francisco, it's just it used to be right up the street, and they sold it to US Bancorp. And I think they still have a very small stake there. And they own 76% of one of Thailand's largest banks. So it's not just about the US. I'm truly talking about a global footprint. And to our friends over at SMBC and SMCC, congratulations, by the way. Last week they announced they increased their stake in Jefferies, a boutique investment bank, to 20%. And we all know what happens. We've seen this happen out before. It usually starts with 20, then it moves to 40, and then it moves to full acquisition. So these banks are thinking globally, not just deposits, not just lending. They're starting to think about what does cash back in an IRA look like? What does investing plans look like? What do 401ks look like? How can we start replicating that? And kudos to you guys again for Genius Bank, which is an LA-based digital-first bank. In the first year, $1 billion in deposits and $700 million in loans. And they leveraged a lot of those learnings from the US banks in order to get there quickly. So I wanted to share all this with you, and I wanted to leave you with this because as you have your conversations with our hosts today, think about the different avenues. It's not working with one of these banks means you're going into Japan in the next year. There's so many different touch points across the globe, and depending on your technology, depending on your startup, there's got to be a fit somewhere in there. So I'm really happy to be here. Thank you guys for the time. Appreciate all of your time. And I will be at the networking session. Happy to chat more if you have any specific questions on Japan market entry. Thank you.
So thank you, Brent. That was excellent. Let's give him another big round of applause. So next, we'll move on to presentation from our 4 hosting companies. The orders will be JCB, MUFG NICOS, Orico, and last but not least, Sumitomo Mitsui Card. So let's begin with JCB.
So, hello everyone. Thank you for coming our payment event first time. So, I have one question. What do you think is the hottest topics in Japan right now? It might be sushi, or maybe Kimetsu no Yaiba, Dragon Ball. No, the real answer is payments. Surprisingly, over 60% of payment in Japan are still made in cash. This is a big issue in Japanese market. As you may know, in the United States, over 80% of payment are now cashless. Bridge card, digital wallet, contactless solution, and more. But in Japan, consumers are still relying on cash. In other words, there is huge potential in this market. At the same time, it's a great opportunity for you to expand your business into Asia. So, what's the best way to solve this problem? The answer is JCB. Do you know JCB? Okay. Perfect. Thank you. So, first, let me introduce our team member. I am Yuta, head of Silicon Valley office at JCB. And my colleague Hayato, Assistant Vice President, is also here today. And most surprisingly, today, head of our innovation department, Mr. Yamaguchi, is also here today from Japan. Yeah, over there. Yeah. Thank you. So we are looking forward to discussing with you today during networking time. So next, let me introduce our JCB. JCB was established in 1961, and we have been developed wide range of products: credit card, debit card, QR code payment services, and so on. So as of today, we have become global payment brand like Visa, MasterCard, and so on. And to be honest, we are collaborating with American Express and Discover in North America. Now, we have 4 main domains: card issuing, merchant acquiring, processing, and brand. JCB has over 160 million users worldwide, more than 130 million users in Japan, which means almost every Japanese consumer has a JCB product. It's amazing. On the merchant side, we have a network of over 56 million merchants worldwide. This scale makes JCB one of the most trusted and influential payment brands in Japan and across Asia. So, today, let me introduce our new solution. This is called JCB NFC tag. As you may know, NFC is extremely convenient. Users can use NFC to connect e-commerce site very easily and quickly. So we believe that NFC can be a game changer for Japanese market, reducing cash reliance and making payments seamless. So that's why we are here today. We are looking for an innovative partner who can integrate your service and product with our JCB product. It could be an AI company or SaaS company, or simply anyone with a great idea. In the future, let's collaborate with us to solve that Japan's cash problem and create great opportunity to expand your business into Asia and bring your service and product to Asia and Japan. So we are looking forward to discussing with you today. That will be all. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. For introducing myself, like Yuta said, one of the pain points that the credit card payment industry has, cash. That's one thing, but the other thing is that fraud. So every year, fraud losses is increasing. So like last year, 2024, we had like $50 million losses in the fraud area. At this point, MUFG NICOS quite used the AI-powered solution to reduce the fraud losses and fraud cases 30%. So MUFG really understand that AI-powered solution is really needed and we need to implement to our company. So this is one thing that I want to first note. And so for the introduction for us, who we are, I'm Shun, and I'm from MUFG. And Eddie, he's also my teammate. And MUFG is, like Brent said in the former presentation, is one of the large financial group in Japan. So we have banking service, payment service, security, trusting bank, leasing, and so we have many financial services in Japan. So today it's a payment event. So I would like to focus in the payment, but my role is to bring a cutting-edge solution to the MUFG group. So quite wide opportunity we have here, but today we would like to focus on the payment side. So in the payment side, the company is called Mitsubishi UFJ NICOS, and we have the issuing service, also the credit card as a service, and the merchant acceptance, acquiring side. So for the cardholders, we have like 33 million cardholders in Japan right now, and the transaction base, we have like 160 billion transaction in Japan right now, or NICOS. Yeah. And our focus is really to collaborate with the startups, the cutting edge solution. So this is our really main focus. So today we are really happy to get connected and exchange our information and quite collaborate in the future with the MUFG. Yeah. So a little more detail. I think Eddie can share you some activities that NICOS has done. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Shun. So in 2023, we went fully live with AI scoring across all created authorization requests, and we run 24/7 with human-in-the-loop controls. Continuously tuning rules and models. And we identify high-risk transactions in near real time. And we successfully achieved more than 30% reduction in fraud cases and fraud losses compared to pre-AI. And besides fraud, we also designed and now operating a domain-specific Gen AI Copilot for internal workflows. And it's been delivering outstanding accuracy across a wide range of operations. And as a multi-network issuer in Japan, we must apply to each network's frequent rule changes directly in-house. So this capability is directly connected to our day-to-day execution. And now we're preparing to extend this stack further into AI agents in near future. These demonstrate our commitment to proactively exploring, piloting, and scaling high-impact AI and enterprise solutions in our company. So in short, we're serious about partnering on innovations, and we have a company-wide appetite to test, learn, and roll out what works. Here are just examples of what we are seeking actively here, but we're not limited. We are open to all the enterprise solutions. And MUFG NICOS is broadly open to exploratory conversations, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Great to meet you. My name is, thank you very much. My name is Masahiro Sawa in Orico. And at first, I have to tell you that I'm not good at English. But I don't care. I'll do my best today. Yeah. Let me introduce myself. I was being with Orico. I'm sorry, I'm being Orico with 18 years. And the last 3 years, I'm in charge of investment and business development. So since this spring, I've been working at Menlo Park office as a part of Itochu International Inc., which is a trading company. But I mainly work for Orico. And so, can I talk a little bit about my private life? Okay? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. First, I like to play drums. And any musicians here? Oh, thank you. Let's make a fintech band. Thank you. And the second, I have a family, but I live apart from my family. So I'm lonely. And any drinkers here? Almost everyone? Yeah, let's drink together. And we will serve Japanese sake. And actually, I selected many rare and premium and good taste. Yeah. Ask me about my favorite sake today. Okay? Yeah. Let's talk about Orico. Orico was founded in 1954 and one of Japan's leading consumer finance and payment company. And we process about $41 billion in annual transaction volume. And we serve about 10 million cardholders. And with our partner, almost 1 million merchants. And our 5 pillars: credit card, customer loans, payment guarantees, bank loan guarantees, and international operation. Especially our auto loan business in Japan is the top in Japan. Yeah, and we expand our business to abroad, such as Thailand, the Philippines, and Indonesia. Yeah, and we issued a credit card, partner with 1,500 more merchants. And hey, look, can you see this beautiful woman? Do you know? She is Ayumi Hamasaki. Yeah. One of the most famous singers in Japan. And the others, Japanese anime. And drugstore Matsumoto Kiyoshi. And the other end, shopping mall or so. And we are learning, we are driving digital innovation. And this year, we launched Japan's first USDC credit card. Yeah, supporting USDC stablecoin payments. And we also introduced Waketara is a digital loan, repeatable instruments within credit limit. And maybe it's similar to BNPL in the United States. And Orico's digital innovation division, which I belong to, is around the Orico Digital Fund and strategic investments in venture funds and startups in Japan. And we look for business synergy, not financial return. And this is my key message And my mission in the United States is to build investment framework. Yeah. Why? Because we have no US presence and no investment track record and no local branches. I'm sorry. So we have nothing in the United States. And the first step is to invest in venture funds. And the next, we will expand to direct investment in United States, startups in the United States. And finally, we'll enhance business synergy, strong business synergy with funders and investors. Yeah, and this slide is our investment areas and the stages. And focus area in Japan and the focus area in Japan, yeah, is just example in Japan. And our key message is business synergy first. And look at the below. If there are strong synergy, we are open to any sector or stage. Thank you for everyone. And I appreciate you chatting with you. Thank you for your time.
So, thank you very much for your coming. We are SMCC, the last part of the session. Let me quickly introduce ourselves. My name is Jun Fukunaga. Please call me Jun. I have been working for SMCC for more than 25 years, so I'm dedicating to the payment industry for this year. And last year, I was transferred to Silicon Valley office, and my main role is to find partners who can help develop our business in Japan. And now, let me introduce my colleague, Takehito.
Hello, everyone. My name is Takehito. I'm currently working with June here in the Silicon Valley office as a Vice President of International Partnerships and Business Development. And we look after strategic partnerships with global companies, mostly located in the US market. And we're really excited to meeting you after this presentation. And now, who's wondering what who's wondering what these guys are, wearing? We would like to say that we borrowed these from Tanjiro Kamado from Demon Slayer. They look pretty much the same, but unfortunately, this is called a happy coat. A happy coat is a Japanese traditional garment, usually worn during special events or traditional occasions. And we're wearing this because it's called happy, and we are two happy people. Pun intended.
The end of presentation. Okay, I'd like to take a quick poll. How many of you know what these are? Please raise your hand. Okay. But not everyone. Okay, we'll be serving some sushi, so please patient for 5 more minutes until my presentation is finished. They may slightly look different from what these are, but consider the same, so don't worry about that. Now, the second poll. Have you ever seen this logo? Are you sure?
Lucky ones, because the ones who raise your hands were serving sake together with the sushi. So, anyone extra? Yeah, great, thank you.
Oh, okay. So I don't have to make a presentation today because everyone knows who we are. But yes, we've been in the United States since last May, but we are struggling to find partners because no one knows who we are. So I'd like to make a presentation for today. we SMBC Group are the second largest financial conglomerate in Japan in terms of asset size. And in globally, we are positioned in between Citigroup and Wells Fargo. And our corporate structure is written on the right-hand side. As Brent has mentioned, we have our operation in the United States, the SMBC Money Bank, which was formerly known as the Manufacturers Bank. Now they rebranded as SMBC Money Bank. And they're starting operation of a digital banking platform called Genius Bank. So we are part of US citizens now, just headquartered in the United States, in Japan. And as for ourselves, we are from the SMCC, that stands for Sumitomo Mitsui Car Company. We call ourselves SMCC for short. So we are within SMBC Group, we are leading payment strategy with the payment operations as its core. So that's what we are doing. And take a look at the glance. And while SMBC Group is operating widely, we SMCC is mainly operating in Japan. But in Japan, we have over 36 million cardholders with over 2 million merchants in our platform. So they drive us 25.7% market share in terms of the payment processing volume in the share of the merchant sales. So we are leading the payment industry in Japan. Okay, and most of our competitors have already mentioned, but our business is centered in issuing business and acquiring that the business to accept credit card at the merchant. We call it merchant business as well. And I'd like to emphasize that beyond this payment, we have another, we engage into the digital financial platform for SMEs and non-financial service such as the travel booking service, and also data business and royalty program, reward point program. So these are our business domains. Now, I'd like to talk about our innovation and partnership. And I'd like to emphasize that our innovations cannot be done by ourselves. It always realized in collaboration with partners. I think you have seen these logos. I don't take any polls anymore, but you have seen these two logos. So back in 2013, we entered into a strategic alliance agreement with Square. And in 2015, we entered into a strategic alliance with Stripe. And as Brent has mentioned in the keynote, none of the successful company have tapped into Japanese market. They are not the exceptions. They are now in Japanese market as well. And even these two companies have challenges when they go into Japanese market, to compliance into Japanese regulations, and localization into the Japanese culture. That's their challenges. So here we are. We help them bring in, their business into Japan. And at that time, we had a struggle with entering into a SMB market. So they help us develop SMB market in Japan's payment industry. So it's a win-win alliance. And moreover, we partnered with a travel agency called Hopper. And when they go into Japanese market, their challenge was how do they acquire consumers? Because nobody in Japan knows who Hopper is. So we made alliance, and we brought their so that they can touch into SMBC Group's consumers. So we push our customer base onto their platform, and we were able to provide our customers the cutting-edge travel booking service, such as the price freezings and cancellation with no reason. these innovations are gaining traction in Japan. Now, I've mentioned a few challenges we have faced, but we have so much challenges in Japanese payment industry. So I think Brent has mentioned most of them, but we are facing labor shortage to the merchant. So just accepting payment does not add any values to merchant. We need any solutions that help merchant operate with less labors. And also capturing inbound tourist demand. And we have to provide security and more safer payment. And also customers are increasing more demand to use credit card. And now we are focusing on more personalizations. Recently in the United States, the rise of agentic commerce is happening now. So we are very keen to explore what agentic commerce change the landscape of the payment. Now, many of our partners have already mentioned Japan is still a cash society. But many of you may think Japan is already saturated. But in the payment industry, it is not. It's growing more than 11.5% annually. And we have just reached 43%. And we compared to with what the US market, we still have $800 billion of market we can tap. So we'd like to tap into that new market together with you. And finally, I'd like to announce that we have established the CVC this March together with the Fin Capital. This is our first attempt to develop a CVC in the United States. And our focus area is bank tech, payments, asset, wealth management, and everything. So that'll be all from our presentation. And I'd like to connect with as many as you, as much as possible. Thank you very much for your attention.
So, yes, I know I'm getting hungry as well. So let me close this. So thank you all to all four companies for those insightful presentations. Let's show our appreciation once more with a warm round of applause. So, as you all heard today, the Japanese payments market is a very different landscape from the US and full of opportunities yet not to be unlocked. So if today has sparked your interest, I encourage you to continue the conversation during this network and connect with the companies at their booth. And now, the part you've been waiting for, the sushi. We'll keep networking over food and plan to wrap up around 4 p.m. So thank you again for joining us today, and please enjoy the rest of the event. So sushi on the left side. So, yeah, taking it. It's lunchtime.